Hello and welcome back to Fallen London. Last we left off, we had just done quite a bit of activity there in Vale Garden, and we're going to get right back to that. But first, I noticed that here in our lodgings we have rats at the threshold. A polite knock at the bottom of your front door. The rats are back, but only for a moment, bringing you tribute. The rat tribes of London have decided you are a terror out of rat myth. They have brought you gifts to appease your assuredly biblical wrath. Like a potentate of old, rat priests lay red gold and brightly patterned silk at your feet. The dozen or so rats on your doorstep bow once in respect, then ruffle their whiskers and scatter in case their tribute isn't up to snuff. Excellent. Now, let's see what the day has for us. A polite deacon needs discreet work. We've done this one before. We'll steal the books directly. Can't do anything for the revolutionaries yet. The Lord Mayor of London. The living room of the shopkeeper in Viric has been entirely turned over to the Viscountess' mayoral business, that is, the matter of war. On a table by the window are scraps of paper with rough directions. Ordinary maps serve little purpose in Parabola. By the hearth, two mother cats feed their kittens while organizing a patrol schedule for particularly dangerous sections of the Viric jungle. At the back of the room, couches have been set up for those of her supporters in dire need of restful sleep. When the Viscountess herself can't protect them, one of her deputies will. So, the Mayor of London is actually a position that changes fairly regularly. There's an election held every year. So a lot of the terms that got thrown out here, the Viric jungle, Parabola, the shopkeeper in Viric, the Viscountess, those are unfamiliar largely because we're essentially new to the game and this is current events. So what you need to know is that the current Lord Mayor of London is this Viscountess, who is evidently some kind of panther person. And she does not like Parabola, whatever that is, and has caused London to go to war. So, let's go on patrol with the Viscountess of the Viric jungle. Her work leaves her little time for socializing. She'd welcome the company. The Mirror Marches. Tormented Londoners will keep finding their way here, so here she must patrol. She could have sent another, but perhaps she relishes the change from her own territory. The jungle steams in the heat of the low orange sun. The forest bursts with sweet-smelling flowers. Birds shriek. Occasionally their music is almost orchestral. As night falls, you can see the stars. If you could ignore the dangers, the threat of becoming irretrievably lost, this place could be a paradise. The Viscountess' roar cracks the air like summer thunder. A Londoner, dressed only in his nightshirt, stumbles from the trees, then runs away, toward a full-length mirror tangled in vines. As you move to where he emerged, you see it, a plum tree bowed down with fruit. The Viscountess' muzzle creases with distaste. Not for eating. Not by you. Well, that was interesting. A stray consignment of souls. You've heard that a spirifer, a smuggler of souls, will be down on the river tonight selling his wares to the men with the horns. You might be able to snaffle a box or two. I think we listened last time, so this time let us sneak in and make away with something while they haggle. A dark trade, but a profitable one. Carefully now, you slip into the water as quietly as you can and float toward the stern of the spirifer's boat, barely moving. As you drift past, you snag a box of souls with a length of cable and a hook. Back on shore, you heave at the cable until the box falls into the water. The devil and the spirifer hear the splash and turn to stare into the darkness. But even devil's eyes can't pierce the darkness of the river. You haul in your spoils and steal away. Moving in rarefied circles. A notable family is holding a ball for the well-bred and the wealthy. Perhaps you can talk your way in. Gossip with the servants. It's hardly high society, but the servants here are known for the occasional indiscretion regarding their betters. Or, but my good man, the invitation never arrived. The host's butler is shrewd and the veteran of 100 society events. It will not be easy to talk your way past him. Well, let's try gossiping. This card will come back later. Encouragingly indiscreet servants. A merry rake is in prison for debt. A society darling is rumored to have posed for a candid portrait. A married lady has been receiving love letters from a Z captain. The evening passes in pleasant and occasionally valuable gossip. Excellent. Help us buy, distract an inconvenient tale. An acquaintance you're sure dabbles in the great game needs to do some business without being watched. Lead her tale a merry chase. With a precise air of professional nonchalance, you take her folded copy of the magazine formerly known as the London Magazine and head into the street. Or, offer to go instead of her. Deliver a package to a man eating candied mushrooms by the pond in Tyrant's Garden, and don't get followed. Let's give it a shot. Perhaps there is a career in this. You slip the slim package inside your coat and wait. Your acquaintance leaves just before you, and when you emerge into the street, it is clear of intriguers and spies. You make your way directly to Tyrant's Gardens and deliver the package. Your contact hands over a small pouch of jade as agreed. Bohemians, not much new here, keep gaining favors. The rooftop urchins. Let's go ahead and change how Londoners address us. The gender confusion is fun, but let's settle on something here. We'll go with citizen for now. There will be more unlocked later. I rather like captain, that one's fun. But for now, citizen will do. It is a term of address popular among those of egalitarian sentiment. The urchin raises his eyebrows melodramatically. You one of those then, mate? You gonna stir things up a bit? Good. Don't worry, I'll let people know what to call you. Thanks. Excellent. Unusual wager. Seen this. Struggling artist. Seen it. Okay. So that is it for our lodging cards and our opportunity cards and the gift from the rats at our lodgings. To Vale Garden. Let's see. And the Singing Mandrake. That's right. So to start with, we are going to seduce a struggling artist. Do you find him charming, useful, or both? Okay. The chap has, they say, picked up a number of secrets from his commissions, but he won't share them with just anyone. Fascinate him. Delight and tantalize the struggling artist enough that he might tell you his secrets, you heartless creature. Let's see what we can do. He's a dreamy, romantic sort, but he has a crowd of friends you'll need to navigate. flattery and careless charm. You might make your intentions a little obvious, but by then it may be too late. He's most definitely paying attention to you. Yes, we have seen these cards. Going to quickly pump this on up. There we go. You've hooked him. Oh, well. Let's just go for the simpler option this time. Drop hints and wait to be invited back to his studio. It's damnably difficult to get him on his own. You've caught his eye. A marvelous evening. The artist's enthusiasm is a little boyish, but gratifying nevertheless. Excellent. So, now... Oh, yes, of course, there's more to the story, same as before. Continue your affair with the struggling artist. You've become a rather promising relationship with this young man. Will you continue to pursue him? For this one, let's go with yes, he's still useful. He tends to be a little vague, but this should work in your favor when it comes to using your acquaintance. Charmingly talkative, the struggling artist is beginning to make a name for himself. It is in your interest to pursue him. In the circles where he moves, valuable indiscretions are common. You will string him along for as long as his delightful inability to keep secrets remains useful. Make use of the struggling artist. The gentleman can be absent-minded, but he definitely has more secrets. Find a way to get to them while you continue your pursuit. We can look for evidence, try to snatch a moment alone with his journals, who knows what he may have written down, or try a little eavesdropping. Offer to take him out for tea, but arrive at his lodgings early. You never know who else you might see. Sure. Now that's interesting. You arrive at the young man's garret door and secrete yourself in a hallway closet. Through a crack in the door, you observe some very interesting comings and goings. Surely clergymen and devils don't usually meet in artist studios. End your affair with the struggling artist. It has been delightful, but he's become awfully clingy. The constant letters and visits are getting tiresome, and he no longer even keeps up with society gossip. It is time to let him go. Let him down gently. Explain to him as kindly as you can that the attraction has faded. Or, be cruel to be kind. No point mincing your words or wasting your time. Send him a letter making your feelings clear. Let's go for that. We were nice on the other one, so... Ooh, heartless. Breathtakingly cold. You send to the young man a dispassionate note, ending your liaison in no uncertain terms. He does not respond. Shouldn't he be waiting on your doorstep, crying? What is going on? Why are people whispering in corners? Oh my. Alright, well that is good for that. Anything else in the Singing Mandrake that's worth checking out? Nah. Okay. Back out to Vale Garden proper. Where we can become better acquainted with a charming young jewel thief. Well, he says he's a jewel thief, but people say those sorts of things in honey dens. A jewel thief probably gives excellent presents, and you imagine he'd be pleasant company besides. He's pretending not to pay attention. We'll soon correct that. Okay, very similar to the honey-sipping heiress, we start by meeting in dreams. A straightforward approach. Persuade him to share honey with you. The best place to advance your suit is certainly in a shared dream. A very pleasant afternoon. Sunlight, good company, and imaginary wine. You're growing rather fond of the man. And this might be faster. Arrange matters so you meet in a honey dream. If you can determine which dreams he tends to visit, you may be able to meet him there. Okay, so yep, just exactly the same text, so just quickly pumping this up to 5. Matters are approaching a satisfactory conclusion. Commence an affair with the jewel thief. You're looking forward to this. A delicious dalliance. A couple of weeks of bliss, after which one of you rudely abandons the other. Ah, love. Still, you have some delightful souvenirs of your time together. Okay, so that is completed. And it's time to start with making our name, writing a short story. First, a quick nightmare. A dream about whispers. You dream that you're standing on the deck of a tall ship. It is night. Thunder rumbles in the sky, but the sea is flat as a mirror. From beneath the deck you hear a whisper, rising and falling. We have gained a new quality, having recurring dreams, death by water. What an accomplishment! What an accomplishment! Okay, time to write a short story. It's time for you to really strike out on your own. Stun the world with a short story. The next step in your persuasive career is at the writer's desk. You will need the peace and quiet of your lodgings to create anything worthwhile. You know, if we're going to have to do a bunch of writing in our lodgings, I say let's see if we have anything available to us yet. We have accrued quite a bit of wealth over our time. Let's grab a lair in the marshes. I think I have enough rats. Yep. The floods, Penstock says dreamily. This is the place for you, if you're some sort of mycophilic hermit, perhaps. You see strange things out here. Allows 3 cards in your hand. Use the key in your inventory to move into your new lodgings. Rooms above a bookshop. Rooms on 3 levels above a winding, dusty stair. Lots to read and no shortage of interesting customers. Allows 3 cards in your hand. We don't have quite enough whispered hints, and I doubt we can afford any of these. But just in case, I'm gonna... Okay, so no major upgrades, and it'll be a long time before we couldn't afford anything down here. Okay, so, well, to our lodgings to write it is. Oh, interesting. Make your name, the writer's desk, begin a work. You might have a specific commission, but if not, you can sell your work once you've created it. Write a short story, a suitable way for a teller of tales to earn a living. The Riverside, the magazine formerly known as the London Magazine, and Midnights, all published stories by the score. The blank page, first the draft, then the rewrite, then publication. Create manuscript pages to write your story. When you have at least 10, rework your story to improve its potential. Improve your piece to 30 potential to continue making your name. For this short story, you'll need no more than 10 pages and 30 potential. Writing more will bring no additional benefit. Very good to know. Okay, our options right off the bat are write at a sensible pace, write rapidly, let's get this done, or honey. Prisoner's honey might help with your ideas, but not reliably, and it doesn't encourage you to be productive. Okay, well, the main advantage of writing rapidly seems to be that it costs 1 fewer actions, and honey costs fewer still, but of course is relying on drugs, which is risky. Let's try just writing at a sensible pace. Good progress. Another stack of neatly squared off pages for your desk. And that produced 5 pages. Let's try what happens with honey. leaping horrors, a wilderness of frogs, an endless slithering of leathery dun hide and vast frog mothers. They're always watching you. You can hide, but their eyes remain in your spine. Well, that wasn't a very good dream. Let's try that again. Distant visions. Cross the giant glass bridge to the burning sands. Part the fountain's veil and drink of the cool red fluid at its heart. Yes, there is the end of parched earth. That was more useful, gained us 2 pages, and gained instead of lost potential, but that's all of our honey. So we will have to finish the rest of the way next time. Probably between episodes, I'll go ahead and write to get us a cache of pages so that we'll be able to quickly finish next time. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining us. Before we turn in for the night, we'll go ahead and check out a few more lore scraps. Sorry if I end up repeating some of these. It's hard to remember which ones have been read and haven't, so if I'm not sure, I tend to err on the side of rereading. What are the tomb colonies like? More Mictlan than Milan. Travelers do go to see the sights, but the sights are mostly dark, half-deserted plazas and unfriendly people wrapped in bandages. They have some good churches, though. Who is Mr. Eaton? A good question. Not a wise one. Attacks on love stories. The masters apply peculiar customs duties. To fish below a certain size, to green ribbons, but not red, to speckled eggs, but not plain. Perhaps their strangest tax is a heavy duty on stories of love. But it only applies to stories leaving the Neath. What is a spider council? Sorrow spiders are already repulsive. Spider councils are what happens when sorrow spiders go bad. What is irigo? The color of forgetting. Deeper and more solemn than purple. It is frequently associated with spies and others who would prefer not to be troubled by conscience. Okay, well, once again, thank you for joining me here in Fallen London. I'll finish working on this book during some downtime, and I will see you next time.